90 FM.
Building or renovating, we have it all and so much more at H&L Rapid True Value. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
The all-new 2023 Ford Everest is here. An off-road capable 7-seater with exquisite style and more technology. Get everything you're looking for in an SUV. Book your new Everest today.
The temperature by KIG Ford is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett says the industry is booming and has directly contributed more than $300 million to the economy since the beginning of the year.
$336 million or 52 billion Jamaican dollars into the economy even before the tourists start to breathe air in this country.
The opposition PNP says violent crime remains rampant despite the congratulatory backslapping among the Prime Minister, National Security Minister and Police Commissioner.
Their self-congratulatory indulgence has been short-lived, as at least 21 murders have occurred since last Friday's SOE expansion.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee deserves an update about the state of the probe into the so-called illicit sales.
A man suspected of involvement in Monday's attack on a beryllium courier team in Manchester is in hospital under police guard.
A policeman is tackled by defense attorney at Beachy Stout's murder trial over why he submitted a statement concerning the matter only 2 days after the trial began.
In news from the rest of the world, United Nations Working Group gets multiple complaints about torture and forced confessions in detention centers in the Bahamas.
Joe Biden tells Israel it's alienating friends and losing international support over its indiscriminate bombing of Gaza.
In sports, a piece of cricket history will be made at Kensington Oval in a short while as England and West Indies battle in first T20 International.
And later on our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, Anglican priest Father Sean Major Campbell and the Archbishop of Kingston, Kenneth Richards, react to the proposal from the Prime Minister that hate speech law may be on the way.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, what's your reaction to a video of students of Mona High storming the gates of Jamaica College? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio. And message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram.
At 7 this evening, Vincentian Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is to host a meeting with the presidents of Guyana and Venezuela to mediate the dispute over the Essequibo region. Dr. Gonsalves will join us.
At 8, it's Prescription for Life with Dr. Andre McDonald.
And at 9 tonight, it's Affairs of the Heart with Rodney Campbell. All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile. Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide Radio, JM.com, and on the Nationwide app available in Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday, December 12, 2023.
News at 5 is brought to you by KFC's Festive Feast. This holiday season, enjoy a KFC Family 12 bucket with the ones you call family. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. $52 billion. That's how much the tourism industry has contributed to the coffers of the country in direct revenue since January 1 this year. Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett told the House of Representatives on Tuesday that the figure is different from the $4.2 billion in earnings expected to be generated by a record number of visitors to the island this year. Siobhan Campbell reports.
Tourism is booming. That's the message from Ed Bartlett. He says visitor arrivals have grown by 24% since the start of the year.
I'm pleased to announce estimates indicating that the island should record a total of 4,122,100 visitors for the period January to December 2023. Madam Speaker, this would signal an increase of 23.7% over the total number of visitors recorded in 2022. Of this number, Madam Speaker, 2,875,549 are expected to be stopover visitors, and that, as you know, is the bread and butter, which represents a 16% increase over the number of stopover arrivals recording in 2022.
Minister Bartlett says tourism is on a roll, recording 10 consecutive quarters of growth since the COVID-19 pandemic.
But, Madam Speaker, the better news is that the indications are that at the end of the next quarter, December 31st, we will again show significant growth to make it the 11th consecutive quarters of growth. In terms of tourism earnings, Madam Speaker, this influx of visitors expected to generate a whopping $4.265 billion in 2023, representing a projected increase of 17.8% over the revenue secured in 2022 and 17.2%, and this is important, 17.2% increase over the pre-pandemic year of 2019.
The minister also challenged assertions that the upturn in the industry is not being felt by ordinary Jamaicans.
For the fact that 2.8 million stopovers will come, it will mean just on the surface, without any consumption pattern expressed, $336 million or 52 billion Jamaican dollars into the economy even before the tourists start to breathe air in this country. And then, of course, when you add now the food and the transport that they use, and the cars that they have on, and the Airbnb and the everything else, and you will understand what we're talking about when we say that the flow-through effect of the tourism dollar in the economy is substantial.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, Minister Bartlett says based on projections, December is shaping up to be the best month ever for tourist arrivals.
That this month of December so far, Madam Speaker, in 10 days, we have had over 60,000 visitors, which is averaging 10,000 a day. Which means that December is trending to be the first 300,000 visitor arrival month since COVID. 300,000 visitors expected in December, and that will be a record for December any time in the past.
The minister says Jamaica is on track to build 20,000 more hotel rooms across the island.
Investor confidence continues to soar in the industry. And I'm proud to tell you that the projection of our 20,000 new rooms over the next 10 to 15 years is fully on track. And in 2024, we will be bringing in 2,800 new rooms, starting, of course, in April of 2024, and we'll be opening new hotels throughout the year as we go along. Madam Speaker, Princess will have their 2,000-room hotel open, the first 1,000 rooms. We will have Rio's 750 rooms open, and in fact, tomorrow we are going to open the Royalton Blue Waters in Trelawney. Where is the member from North?
Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, he was speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
The opposition People's National Party is demanding an immediate re-evaluation of the country's crime management strategy in the face of what it says is a failure of the Holness administration to provide a safe environment for Jamaicans. The call comes from the party's spokesman on national security, Senator Peter Bunting. Ricardo Brooks has that story.
Senator Bunting has taken the leadership of the Holness administration and the JCF to task over what he says is their self-congratulatory posture on crime fighting.
The opposition is demanding an immediate re-evaluation of Jamaica's crime management strategies in the face of the persistent failure of this administration to provide a safe environment for our citizens. The leadership of both the government and the JCF have been touting the supposed success of the recent SOEs, initially imposed in November, and which spurred a further performative declaration of additional SOEs last week. However, their self-congratulatory indulgence has been short-lived, as at least 21 murders have occurred since last Friday's SOE expansion. Most of these murders took place in SOE areas.
Senator Bunting says despite the government's reliance on states of emergency as a crime-fighting tool, high levels of violence continue to plague the society.
Last week, there were 38 murders reported across Jamaica. The incidents of violence coming to public attention have only intensified in the current week. These include the heartbreaking murder of a 14-year-old student of Anchovy High, Randy James, fatally shot while reportedly just seeking shelter during a sudden downpour. That epitomizes the vulnerability of our children in communities. Recently, another 15-year-old was shot in St. James, and this is all occurring amidst the purported safety net of an SOE.
The senator says the scale and extent of the threat from crime proves the government is out of ideas. He cited the suspected murders and burial of the Moody siblings and Monday's attack on the Beryllium couriers as evidence that the crime situation is out of control. He's also questioning the operational decisions taken by the police commissioner, Major General Anthony Anderson.
These incidents highlight an administration bankrupt of ideas that continues to rely solely on ineffective emergency measures to curb the deeply rooted issues of crime and violence. The Commissioner's recent deployment of resources is perplexing and does not appear to be data-driven. Almost 300 new graduates were deployed at the end of November, but not a single graduate was assigned to the understaffed hotspot divisions of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover.
Senator Bunting is calling on Jamaicans to hold the Prime Minister, the Security Minister, and the Police Chief accountable for what he says are failures in the crime fight. The senator says the time has come for comprehensive and nuanced approaches to the country's crime problem. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
The police have apprehended a man in connection with Monday's attempted robbery of a beryllium team in Greyground, Manchester. Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit CCU, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says the suspect is in hospital under police watch.
Coming out of the incident last night, we know that there was the exchange of gunfire where one of the gunmen died as a result of gunshot wounds, and then follow-up investigation by the police led to the apprehension of another person who they found in the community with gunshot, and he was identified as one of the gunmen who attacked the security guards earlier, so he is currently being treated at hospital.
SSP Stephanie Lindsay, head of CCU. Meanwhile, the embattled company Beryllium Limited says they've taken even greater security measures in light of the enhanced risk associated with cash management during the holiday season. The company says they're cooperating with the police following Monday's gun attack. They're also urging anyone with information to assist the police. Beryllium acknowledged the bravery of their team, who continue to remain steadfast in their duties despite the dangers they encounter. Monday's incident is the latest in a series of attacks on Beryllium security guards since the start of the year.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is calling on the Integrity Commission to provide the Parliamentary Oversight Committee with an update on their probe of the 6 parliamentarians under suspicion of illicit enrichment. He raised the issue at a meeting of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee today. Minister Chuck is concerned that no information about the investigation has been shared since notice of the probe was placed in the Commission's annual report published in July this year. Dana Davey tells us more.
The country still doesn't know the identity of the 6 parliamentarians and 28 other public officials who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. Nor does the country know where the investigation has reached. This despite the general information about the probe being published 5 months ago by the Integrity Commission. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the information blackout isn't useful.
These 4 reports, Chairman, just about not filing statutory declaration, to my mind, was like a squib. I would say, Chairman, most persons sitting in Parliament thought that maybe the reports had to do with the illicit six persons who were being charged for it. And I want to say, Chairman, we need to hear from the Integrity Commission, when are those reports? If the sole number of 6 and 28, whether those matters have been cleared up, and if they have not been cleared up, the Commission should report on them as soon as possible. Because it shouldn't be too difficult, Chairman, for the IC to demand responses from whoever those 6 persons are and report it to Parliament as soon as possible.
Opposition member of the committee, Philip Paulwell, suggested that the Commission may be constrained to provide the update due to a shortage of staff. But Minister Chuck was quick to dismiss that suggestion.
Chairman, I just want to respond to Member Paulwell. Everything, to the best of my knowledge, that the IC asked for, they have got. To the best of my knowledge, every resource personnel that they have asked for, whether they have appointed them is another matter, okay? I believe that the budget that they have got for this fiscal year is close to $1.5 billion. Chairman, for the last 6 years, the Commission would have spent way in excess of $5 billion. And I'm saying that we want the IC to succeed, and the question of success is to show that corruption is being dealt with or being deterred across all levels of the society.
Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
It's my baby's first birthday and I'm having a big party. I've got 1,000 things to do and I have a headache. I took my dependable Advil liquid gels as always. They're strong, fast, and work well for me.
The time by Advil liquid gel is
16 minutes after 5.
Termites and rodents destroying your home or office? Call Rent-A-Kill Initial, the pest expert, at 876-926-4236 for a free pest eradication assessment island-wide.
The temperature brought to you by Rent-A-Kill Initial is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius out west in Montego Bay.
It's a festive feast this Christmas. Spend time with the fam and the crew. You know we love that delicious KFC, even though we have different points of view. I like what I like, you like what you like. Everybody can't be the same, but when we taste that holiday flavor, you know we are gonna enjoy ourselves. It's a festive feast. When we meet, we bring flavor to the table.
Make every Christmas as unique as the taste of KFC. Enjoy a family 12 bucket, 12 pieces of delicious chicken sides and a 2-liter Pepsi. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
I earn hugs and rewards. I earn smiles and rewards.
Whatever you get from giving your gifts this holiday season is made even better when you use your Sagicor Bank credit card, because you'll earn rewards on every dollar you spend.
I earn.
Dad, you're the best!
Use your Sagicor Bank credit card to do all your holiday spending and earn the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Continuing the news, Defense Attorney Christopher Townsend today chided a detective corporal for failing to follow best practices as he testified against Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald in the Home Circuit Court. Beachy Stout and another man, Oscar Barnes, are on trial for July 2020 murder of his second wife, Tonia Hamilton MacDonald. During cross-examination on Tuesday at the Supreme Court, it was revealed that the detective gave a statement concerning the matter on September 20, 2023. That's 2 days after the trial started on September 18 this year. Robian Williams reports.
The policeman told the court he was instructed to write the statement by his superior, but attorney Christopher Townsend submitted that the statement was long overdue and that he only gave the statement because he was told to. The detective answered saying he wrote the statement as the need arose. Mr. Townsend pointed out that the statement made no specific reference to the case. The detective's response was, quote, "maybe not," end quote. Mr. Townsend asked the detective if information contained in the statement came from his notebook where he made jottings throughout the investigation. The detective said no. He went on to say that he didn't consult with his notebook, though it was available. When pressed further, the detective told the court that he didn't have the notebook on the particular day. Mr. Townsend asked, quote, "So you don't follow best practices?" End quote. The witness responded, quote, "You're correct in part, counsel. I didn't use my notebook as reference, sir, but I don't put inaccurate information in statements." End quote. In his statement, he spoke about collecting a digital forensic report from the police's Communication Forensic and Cybercrime Division, CFCD. But he admits there were no reference number for the items recorded in the statement. In response, Mr. Townsend suggested that the detective's statement can apply to any case. Mr. Townsend asked the detective if he came to court with his superior, suggesting that he discussed the evidence with him prior to testifying. The detective responded, quote, "We were assisted here. He was in my company, but I don't do these things. There's no collusion here." End quote. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, says it has reached out to Petrojam for help in cleaning up an oil spill in the Bogwalk Gorge in St. Catherine. According to NEPA, the oil spill came from a factory operating in the area. It did not name the factory. Manager of Public Education and Corporate Communication at the agency, Angela Hamilton, says NEPA was informed about the oil spill just after 5 Monday afternoon.
We dispatched a team immediately to the area to do an assessment, and the team also went there this morning to continue their investigation. Our investigation revealed the source of the spill as coming from a factory operating in the area. NEPA has since met with the company's management team, who is cooperating with the agency to undertake the necessary cleanup exercise. NEPA also reached out to Petrojam for assistance in this regard, and they have agreed to provide the necessary resources to extract the oil and to prevent its movement further downstream. The oil is now in the vicinity of the bridge, and every effort is being made to rectify the situation and to prevent further damage.
Angela Hamilton of NEPA.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
In the Bahamas, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe has dismissed as inaccurate concerns raised in a recent United Nations report about his country's detention practices. Monroe, a former lawyer at the defense bar, says several of those who participated in the study that informed the report are accused persons who have an incentive to speak the worst about their detention. The United Nations Working Group of Arbitrary Detention raised significant concerns with almost every aspect of the detention process in the Bahamas during their tour of 10 government facilities between November 27 and December 9. The group said some detainees allege they were beaten and tortured to extract confessions, with several claiming the plastic bags were used to cover their heads during their ordeal. The group said it was also alerted to a widespread practice of arrests based on outdated or expired warrants.
And U.S. President Joe Biden is warning Benjamin Netanyahu that Israel's indiscriminate bombing of Gaza was beginning to alienate Europe and the rest of the international community. Speaking at a 2024 re-election campaign fundraiser in Washington, D.C., Biden ramped up pressure on Israel over any post-hostilities deal. He says the Israelis can't say no to a Palestinian state and urged Netanyahu not to repeat the mistakes made by the U.S. after 9/11. While Israel could rely for its security on the U.S., Biden warned that the alliance of international support that had been created in the wake of the October 7 attack by Hamas was now in peril.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories in Nationwide News at this hour. Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett says the industry is booming and has directly contributed more than $300 million to the economy since the beginning of the year.
$136 million US dollars, or 52 billion Jamaican dollars into the economy even before the tourists start to breathe air in this country.
Opposition PNP says violent crime remains rampant despite the congratulatory backslapping among the Prime Minister, National Security Minister and Police Commissioner.
Their self-congratulatory indulgence has been short-lived, as at least 21 murders have occurred since last Friday's SOE expansion.
A man suspected of being involved in Monday's attack on a beryllium courier team in Grey Ground, Manchester, is in a hospital under police guard. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available in Google Play and the App Store. Headlines next at 6.
News at 5 was brought to you by KFC's Festive Feast. This holiday season, enjoy a KFC Family 12 bucket with the ones you call family. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Mosquitoes can spread diseases such as dengue fever. Common symptoms of dengue include fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle pain, joint pain, skin rash, nausea, and vomiting. If you feel you have dengue fever, visit your doctor or health center, rest, drink lots of fluids, use only paracetamol for pain. Do not take aspirin or other painkillers. Protect yourself from dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Drive into Christmas with a brand new Hyundai vehicle with no loan payment until May 2024. Yes, Hyundai pays for your first 5 loan payments, plus 2 years free service, 5 years warranty, and 0 processing fees. No more waiting on taxis or hitching rides. Get your Hyundai vehicle with 5 free payments on Duro this Christmas. Limited time offer while stocks last. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The first game in the 3-match T20 series between West Indies and England is underway at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados. The West Indies won the toss and inserted the reigning world champions. And at sports time, hear this: England are 65 without loss. And they are just in over number 5, approaching the end of over number 5. England 65 without loss after 5 overs and 4 balls. Josh Butler is on 22, but Phil Salt is going great guns. He's on 40 at the moment. So England sent in 65 without loss after 5 overs and 4 balls. Host South Africa beat India by 5 wickets under the Duckworth-Lewis method at St. George's Park today to jump into an unassailable 1-0 lead in their 3-match T20 International Series. Set a revised 152 of 15 overs, the Proteas covered the target, reaching 154 for 5 in 13 overs and 5 balls. Reza Hendricks, 49, and Aiden Markram, 30, led the run chase. Earlier, India posted 180 for 7 of 19 overs and 3 balls in the rain-affected contest. Rinku Singh top scored at 68 and Surya Kumar Yadav 56 against Gerald Corti 3 for 32. With the first game abandoned in Durban 2 days ago, India must win the third and deciding game in Johannesburg on Thursday to earn a share of the points. This year's edition of the World Athletics Awards changed from crowning a sole male and female winner to issuing awards across 6 categories. Swedish pole vault superstar Armand Duplantis and the American star Noah Lyles are amongst 6 athletes who have been announced as World Athletes of the Year for 2023. World and Olympic champion Duplantis, Athlete of the Year in 2020 and 2022, took the inaugural Men's Field Award, while Lyles took home the Men's Track Award. Other winners announced were Tigisa Sifa, Faith Kipyegon, Yolimas Hojas, and Calvin Kiptoon. Sports analyst Leighton Levy says this method is more inclusive.
I think it recognizes the different disciplines, it recognizes the emerging athletes, it recognizes the field athletes, because more often than not, unless the field athlete wins the overall Athlete of the Year, they largely go unrecognized. When you look at what has happened in the last few years, especially with Mondo Duplantis and with Ryan Krauser, as well as Yulmar Rojas, who has broken world records so many different times, but unfortunately hasn't gotten a chance to be recognized as one of the best in the world. You will see that track dominates the track and field. The segmenting of the awards, I think, makes it a lot fairer. I mean, the parity is better because the field athletes contribute as much to the sport as the track athletes, but they tend to get more of the recognition.
That's Leighton Levy. Finally, in sports at this time, former champions Manchester United are out of the European Champions League. In fact, they're out of Europe altogether after losing 1-0 to Bayern Munich at Old Trafford in their final group game this afternoon. French international Kingsley Coman bagged the winner for Bayern, who topped the Group A, with 16 points, 8 more than FC Copenhagen, who defeated Galatasaray also 1-0 to win second place and the round of 16 ticket from the group. Arsenal played out a 1-1 draw away to PSV Eindhoven, and they closed out Group B as winners with 13 points. PSV took the other round of 16 spot. Real Madrid, the former champions, they finished top of Group D with a 3-2 win over Union Berlin, while Napoli took second after beating FC Braga by 2-0. While in Group C, last season's beaten finalist Internazionale of Milan played out a 0-0 draw with Real Sociedad. Both finished on 12 points, but Real Sociedad won the group in goal difference. Benfica defeated Salzburg by 3-1 in the group's other game. They take the UEFA spot. And at sports, we're going to be back with more at 6:05 this evening.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hyundai, the home of modern, premium, affordable vehicles. Call us at 876-630-1511. The time by Hyundai is
5:30.
Love, care for, and protect our women and girls.
We are your family. We are your friends. Don't hurt us.
End violence against women and girls.
The temperature by the Office of the Prime Minister is
31 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 29 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Kukudu, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Shucklebuss, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchideas Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
If there was a time to think about your future, to think about securing you and your family, to start that journey, that time is now with people you can trust. At Bulwark Insurance Agency, service is not what we do, it's who we are. We understand what it means to work together to exceed your expectations. Bulwark Insurance Agency, insurance made easy.
It's a festive feast this Christmas. Spend time with the fam and the crew. You know we love that delicious KFC, even though we have different points of view. I like what I like, you like what you like. Everybody can't be the same, but when we taste that holiday flavor, you know we are gonna enjoy ourselves. It's a festive feast. When we meet, we bring flavor to the table.
Make every Christmas as unique as the taste of KFC. Enjoy a family 12 bucket, 12 pieces of delicious chicken sides and a 2-liter Pepsi. KFC, it's finger licking good.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister. Applications are now open for the Jamaica House Fellowship Program. Get first-hand high-level experience in the operations of the public sector and an opportunity to support and implement high-priority initiatives of the government of Jamaica for 2 years. Visit the OPM website at www.opm.gov.jm to apply and for more information. The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fastwitch has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fastwitch Lifestyle. It's electric. Fastwitch, your energy world.
You, yes you. Well, listen to the radio. Have a secret to tell you. You see the MyCash app? It bad. Me pay all of my bills them quick by my phone before my wife can call me. If you check on it, it's easy, safe and keep me out of trouble. Everybody fi use it. Hello? Yes, baby. Bills paid on the MyCash app long time. One step by day again. Download the MyCash app by Paymaster today. Pay your bills anytime, anywhere with MyCash. MyCash, my way. MyCash Digital Wallet product is being tested in Bank of Jamaica's regulatory sandbox.
Spruce up your home this holiday season with Unique Living. We have a wide selection of fixtures, from stylish shower systems to elegant faucets, closet pieces, vanities, sinks, shower enclosures, toilets, bathroom, and kitchen accessories to upgrade your space. Shop at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading kitchen and bathroom provider for everything new and unique. Visit them at shop number 6, 30 Don Robin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call us at 876-755-3661.
Let the countdown begin! Beat the clock! Hurry up and go buy a Suzuki Tick-Tock! Purchase a Suzuki Vitara, Grand Vitara or XL7 from now to December 22, 2023 from as low as $4.75 million! And drive into the festive season with 5 years warranty, free vehicle tracking, and free servicing! Act fast and beat the clock for this offer! Available until December 22, 2023 or while stocks last! Only at Stewart's Automotive Group, South Kent Road, Kingston, and Iron Shore Bay! Everything must go! We're open Saturday, December 2nd, 9th, and 16th. Conditions apply.
We're having problems with our main YouTube page, but you can still enjoy or live stream on the YouTube platform. Go to Nationwide 90 FM Live or backup page to enjoy your favorite Nationwide programs. You can get there by simply typing @Nationwide News Network in your YouTube search window. You can also listen and interact with us through the Nationwide app and on your radio at 90.1, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9.
Cover Story is brought to you by Magna Motors. Drive Hyundai with no payments until May 2024. Hyundai.
Drive into Christmas with a brand new Hyundai vehicle with no loan payment until May 2024. Yes, Hyundai pays for your first 5 loan payments, plus 2 years free service, 5 years warranty, and 0 processing fees. No more waiting on taxis or hitching rides. Get your Hyundai vehicle with 5 free payments on Duro this Christmas. Limited time offer while stocks last. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
Good afternoon, Cliff. Good afternoon, listeners. My name is George Davis.
Good afternoon, George. How are you?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a pullover over a short-sleeved Banana Republic shirt.
Oh, style.
Yes, with Carlton Brown jeans and...
Is that right, George?
Shoes from Kicks.
Is that right?
With Under Armour socks. I'll leave it there. Anything else?
In our cover story this afternoon, Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently signaled that the government is considering the introduction of hate speech laws. Hate speech is defined as abusive or threatening speech or writing that expresses prejudice based on ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or similar grounds.
The Prime Minister made the announcement, or he dangled the prospect while addressing a diaspora audience in Washington, D.C. last Wednesday.
We can address this issue of socialized violence, and that is going to be a direction of the government. We are going to mobilize, coordinate, and direct resources towards this problem of violence in Jamaica. It means we are going to have to deal with things like hate speech. It's not a feature yet in the Jamaican society, but you in the diaspora, many of you live in society where speech that deliberately targets violence at a group or a person is treated within law. In Jamaica, there's really no such thing. We have to consider that.
Prime Minister Holness. Well, the opposition People's National Party says it doesn't see the need for hate speech law. Sections of the church are calling for Mr. Holness to give the public more details about such a law.
Some members of academia have welcomed the announcement. One of them, the Professor of Culture, Gender and Society at the UWI Mona, Donna Hope, says properly policing hate speech in Jamaica would be crucial in the rapidly advancing age of the internet and social media. Views are also split among members of the diaspora, and the Minister with Responsibility for Information, Robert Morgan, says hate speech legislation would complement the other tools being devised by the government as part of a comprehensive approach towards violence prevention.
The idea of a hate speech law is based on the reality in Jamaica that there are many actors within the society who seek to incite violence against other members of the society using certain language. Gang members, persons who have interest in undermining the state. Now, the role of law is to protect the wider society, and particularly the vulnerable. And I think in Prime Minister floating this idea, he has ignited a discussion within the society that will inform the approach of the government in dealing with the issue of violence, the issue of disorder, and so on.
Minister Morgan says the government will be seeking feedback from the public as it crafts the hate speech legislation.
We are a liberal democracy. We are a democracy that is developed, and our laws are based on a plurality of opinions, where persons, when you have joint select committees where we bring laws to the parliament, persons are free to come and opine and to give their perspective. So there's no law that will be passed in Jamaica without the opinion of the people, not just the majority, but there are also minority views when you're passing legislation that are considered and the evidence is clear.
Minister Robert Morgan. Social commentator Dr. Nadine Spence says the introduction of hate speech laws would be a new frontier or represent a new frontier in governance for Jamaica.
The tools of the communication revolution, in particular the internet and social media, have created a different kind of environment that governments must now contend with in respect of the threat they pose to laws and to national peace. They cannot remain an unpoliced area because the harm that is being caused is magnified by the kinds of possibilities that exist with spreading information or disinformation. So I think it's very much in keeping with what is expected of governments nowadays, especially in a place like Jamaica where violence and the rule of law are so very much embraced and the rule of law is so contested.
Dr. Nadine Spence. She said members of the clergy who have maintained a bigoted approach may be challenged if hate speech laws are enacted. She also believes dance hall culture sometimes amplifies hate speech. This afternoon we'll be getting some other perspectives, returning to two members of the clergy, Anglican priest Father Sean Major Campbell and the Roman Catholic Archbishop of Kingston, Kenneth Richards. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Cliff. Good afternoon to you and to listeners.
Let me begin with Archbishop Richards. Let me hear your initial thoughts on this.
Well, my thought is the government needs to give some clarity with respect to the impact of hate speech, why there is need for attention to start contemplating laws. Because I don't think that we have any instances, and cynically I could say, well, the only kind of hate speech that we see is among the political parties when they malign each other. But I've been trying to identify where, in light of the definition of hate speech, where there's action that incites violence against persons or particular groups currently in Jamaica. I suppose it would be easy for us to say if there are intention to censor church preaching, which that for centuries have been addressing moral laws. And I don't think that preaching in church with respect to morality, although things are changing with respect to what has become acceptable in contradistinction with respect to previously when certain sexual orientation or sexual aberrations, preaching against them did not cause any necessary social concern. But of course, with changing times and development of new rights, sometimes persons may have objection with respect to the church, and so I don't know if this is intended for censorship, but with respect to in the society where there's inciting to attack persons or groups for one reason or another based on race, orientation, and such the like, I don't see. I think the government needs to give some clarity with respect to what they are trying to address.
We're up on the break, gentlemen. Let me go to the break and then bring in, after the break, Father Sean Major Campbell.
Set your table just the way you like it, with those who mean the most. Set your table with Eve, the first family of fine foods.
The temperature by Eve is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan, you know. I further my education and I make mama proud.
Save so you can, break the par, travel far, graduate like a star.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited are authorized distributors of international brands ABB, Omron, STC, Fluke, Festo, and Thomas & Betts. They supply programmable logic controllers, photoelectric and proximity sensors, contactors and soft starters, power supplies, variable frequency drives, and much more. Visit them at 24 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston, or shop 32 Overton Plaza, 46 Union Street, Montego Bay, or visit their website cleasling.net. Cleasing Industrial Supplies for all your industrial automation and control solutions.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Kukudu, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Shuttlebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchideas Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
We're having problems with our main YouTube page, but you can still enjoy or live stream on the YouTube platform. Go to Nationwide 90 FM Live or backup page to enjoy your favorite Nationwide programs. You can get there by simply typing at Nationwide News Network in your YouTube search window. You can also listen and interact with us through the Nationwide app and on your radio at 90.1, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9.
Welcome back to Nationwide at 5. We have the pleasure of sharing the platform with 2 clergymen, Anglican priest Father Sean Major Campbell and Roman Catholic Archbishop of Kingston, Kenneth Richards, talking about the prospect of hate speech legislation as proposed, well, not really proposed, as teased by the Prime Minister in that diaspora virtual conference in Washington, D.C. last Wednesday. We heard the initial thoughts of Archbishop Richards before the break. Father Campbell, what say you about what the Prime Minister has tantalized us with?
Well, first of all, I want to also acknowledge that whatever clarity may be given to the subject will definitely be welcome in the coming days, weeks, months ahead. And to note too that whenever the state is going to exercise such power, it should always be checked in the context of human dignity, equality, and justice for all, and certainly in accordance with the principles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That said, I would also want to observe that I believe it is commendable and would be commendable if we would move in the direction of some of our first world neighbors with regards to becoming a more peaceful and orderly society. And one of the ways is going to be to address violence in all its manifestations. And one of those manifestations happen to be hate speech.
And so you say that to say that you think a move towards hate speech legislation is a right move?
Most certainly.
And Father Campbell, help us. How do we define what constitutes hate speech?
So this is where those with much bigger pay grade are going to come in, because it is going to take some serious work, because it is going to be easier for us to just make all kinds of different comments, and I don't want to just speak for the sake of speaking and just spew off some things.
Yeah.
I am saying instead, let us recognize that this is difficult work ahead, but it is important.
Let me see, Father Sean, if I can equalize the basis of the position that both yourself and Archbishop Richards have taken. Why do you think, in the Jamaican context, why do you think hate speech legislation would be helpful?
Well, you know, if we are honest, we will recognize that in Jamaica we not only have a violence problem, but we have a problem with just respecting each other. And the issues around misogyny, bullying, body shaming, stigma and discrimination, and to also name one of the elephants in the room, the matter of sexual orientation and gender identity, all of these are real. And it so happens that where all these concerns and controversies exist, hate speech is often not far away. You just drive out to Harpatry or any town center, maybe you don't even have to go into a town center, and hear the insults that people hurl at each other. Look at what is happening in the space of social media and see how people are to malign others and threaten others, even when they may not appear to be, intending to carry it out.
Right.
But we have serious problems.
And so, Archbishop, in light of what Father Sean has said, I revisit the basis of your position that you don't see the need for legislation of this kind. Are you saying that the things that you're seeing around us, the way people speak to and about each other on social media and otherwise, would not be curbed if we have this kind of legislation framed the right way?
The concern that I'd raise is that I think that the context within Jamaica finds itself now with respect to the high increase of violence that is uncontrollable and is getting out of hand. That it seems, the impression is given that, having laws against hate speech would be able to curb that, what is happening. But I don't see the relation now with respect to the escalation in crime and violence as related to hate speech to the extent that you need to put in such laws. In the long run, the concept is a good idea. But I think that, with respect to the crime and violence taking place now, there are other things that need to be addressed. Now, with respect to the concerns that could be raised with respect to how people speak to each other, etc., there are other approaches that need to be taken with respect to the values and attitudes, with respect to a gentler society, how we see each other. We need to start in our schools, in our homes, with respect to teaching about personal dignity, respect for personal dignity, and then dignity for respecting the dignity of others. I think that has to be the concentration instead of a law about hate speech. But it is interesting to note that in the United States, where they have some kind of legislation against hate speech, that they also have a legislation for freedom of speech that does not restrict persons from robust debate and deal with matters.
But you would accept, Archbishop, that that's a changing position, because freedom of speech as enshrined in the Constitution, early amendment, that, of course, came before. Long after were these amendments to make illegal certain types of speech. And you are correct, the United States does not have hate speech laws, but it has laws against speech that discriminate and incite abuse or violence against certain groups and certain people. So it's an evolution of what the US has enjoyed for centuries in recognition of the changing tone of public discourse and how you need to put curbs so that people exercise speech responsibly. So one would suggest to you that that's what the direction the Prime Minister is looking to pull the country into.
As I puffer, that what we need to do is to start promoting the values that help persons to recognize what the dignity of the person is all about, respect for personhood, respect for others. That is what we need to be focusing on, and that can be promoted in our schools, in our homes, and through our churches with respect to that. And I think that is where the concentration has to be. If the focus is primarily on establishing law against hate speech and how persons may address each other, I think vilify other persons or humiliate each other, I think we're going to have trouble on our hands with respect to how we are going to police that, and how we are going to, the jurisprudence is going to deal with that, bringing first before the court. I think that the better approach, if there's a concern with respect to how we relate and speak to each other, then we need to start looking at moral formation and creating a gentler society.
I want to bring this, what we saw yesterday on social media with those students at Mona High School. Oh, we lost somebody. I want to bring to the discussion what we saw in that video. We lost Major Campbell. With that schoolboy, a teenager, at Mona, celebrating his school's Manning Cup victory. And in the vehicle, when he approached Jamaica College's school gate, the gun gesture, plus the slur about what JC boys were to do with their mothers.
And the security guards.
How would that behavior be impacted by what we are grappling with here, sparked by the Prime Minister? He spoke, for example, of, isn't that socialized violence?
Yes.
That we should frown upon and make it clear it has no place in a modern, liberal, democratic society such as what we are trying to build in Jamaica. Because we now have that kind of behavior seen as virtually normalized.
Not virtually, it is.
Normalized. Yes. Yeah?
And that's it. This is why there has to be some concentration within our school. I don't think it's addressed appropriately in our schools, in our communities, and
in our churches
sufficiently. In our churches sufficiently. And this is where the concentration needs to be done. We need to start promoting what was advanced some time ago about values and attitudes. And I don't think we pay sufficient attention to that, put enough resources and energy into it to accomplish this. And so there's a lack of moral formation, a lack of formation, self-understanding. And so the understanding that, if I want to respect myself, I must respect another person. And so I must not do unto another what I would not want somebody else to do unto me. And I think that they have lost that kind of sense. Many of our children nowadays have no contact with church and the value and ethical formation that can be is provided in that kind of space. And so there has to be a concentration on that kind of effort rather putting in place a legislation because, cynically, there's a statement, laws are made to be broken. And we're just complicating the thing rather than taking a more positive approach with respect to forming the values that can indeed neutralize and negate such kind of activities. In our schools, something should have been done, in view of the culture that we live in, and that temptation for such kind of celebration, because we see that boys chants, etc., that going on such a march, the school should have set parameters, giving guidelines and direction with respect to how we should conduct ourselves. But we don't do that. What we do, we react after the aberration has taken place rather than having a vision of recognize that these are things that we are going to be contending with. Let us see what safeguards can be put in.
Hold it there for us, Bishop Richards. Let me bring back for the final few seconds Father Sean Major Campbell. Yes, what would you suggest that the Prime Minister needs to do in terms of adding flesh to what he has dangled in front of us? Sean Major Campbell?
That promise will not amount to just doing lip service, re-advancing the protection of dignity, equality, and justice for all, but that he will proceed to establishing a team, a committee, a body that will proceed to explore ways, what would be some guiding principles for making sure that this is properly effected for a better Jamaica for all.
All right. That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much. Yes, Anglican priest, Father Sean Major Campbell, and the Roman Catholic Archbishop of Kingston, Kenneth Richards. More and on this matter. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Okay, good.
Good. That's the cover story. The headlines are next at 6.
Cover Story was brought to you by Magna Motors. Drive Hyundai with no payments until May 2024. Hyundai. Hyundai.
Say hello to peace of mind and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan and secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness today. Call 888-367-5433 for details.
The time by Guardian Life is
6:01.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today.
The temperature by IQ Optical is
31 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Norgay Banton. $52 billion. That's how much the tourism industry has contributed to the nation's coffers in direct revenues since January 1. Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett told the House of Representatives on Tuesday that the figure is different from the $4.2 billion in earnings expected to be generated by a record number of visitors to the island this year. Tourism is booming. That's his message. He says visitor arrivals have grown by 24% since the start of the year.
I'm pleased to announce estimates indicating that the island should record a total of 4,122,100 visitors for the period January to December 2023. Madam Speaker, this would signal an increase of 23.7% over the total number of visitors recorded in 2022. Of this number, Madam Speaker, 2,875,549 are expected to be stopover visitors, and that, as you know, is the bread and butter, which represents a 16% increase over the number of stopover arrivals recording in 2022.
Minister Bartlett says tourism is on a roll, recording 10 consecutive quarters of growth since the COVID-19 pandemic.
But, Madam Speaker, the better news is that the indications are that at the end of the next quarter, December 31st, we will again show significant growth to make it the 11th consecutive quarter of growth. In terms of tourism earnings, Madam Speaker, this influx of visitors expected to generate a whopping $4.265 billion in 2023, representing a projected increase of 17.8% over the revenue secured in 2022 and 17.2%, and this is important, 17.2% increase over the pre-pandemic year of 2019.
The minister also challenged assertions that the upturn in the industry is not being felt by ordinary Jamaicans. The opposition People's National Party, PNP, is demanding an immediate re-evaluation of the country's crime management strategy in the face of what it says is the failure of the Holness administration to provide a safe environment for Jamaicans. The call comes from the party's spokesman on national security, Senator Peter Bunting. Senator Bunting has taken the leadership of the Holness administration and the JCF to task over what he says is their self-congratulatory posture on crime fighting.
The opposition is demanding an immediate re-evaluation of Jamaica's crime management strategies in the face of the persistent failure of this administration to provide a safe environment for our citizens. The leadership of both the government and the JCF have been touting the supposed success of the recent SOEs, initially imposed in November, and which spurred a further performative declaration of additional SOEs last week. However, their self-congratulatory indulgence has been short-lived, as at least 21 murders have occurred since last Friday's SOE expansion. Most of these murders took place in SOE areas.
Senator Bunting says despite the government's reliance on states of emergency as a crime-fighting tool, high levels of violence continue to plague the society.
Last week, there were 38 murders reported across Jamaica. The incidents of violence coming to public attention have only intensified in the current week. These include the heartbreaking murder of a 14-year-old student of Anchovy High, Randy James, fatally shot while reportedly just seeking shelter during a sudden downpour. That epitomizes the vulnerability of our children in communities. Recently, another 15-year-old was shot in St. James, and this is all occurring amidst the purported safety net of an SOE.
Senator Bunting says the scale and extent of the threat from crime prove the government is out of ideas. He cited the suspected murders and burial of the Moody siblings and Monday's attack on the Beryllium couriers as evidence that the crime is out of control. He's also questioning the operational decisions made by the police commissioner, Major General Anthony Anderson. And the police have apprehended a man in connection with Monday's attempted robbery of a Beryllium team in Greyground, Manchester. Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says the suspect is in hospital under police watch.
Coming out of the incident last night, you know that there was the exchange of gunfire where one of the gunmen died as a result of gunshot wounds, and then follow-up investigation by the police led to the apprehension of another person who they found in the community with gunshot, and he was identified as one of the gunmen who attacked the security guards earlier, so he is currently being treated at hospital.
SSP Stephanie Lindsay, head of the CCU. Meanwhile, the embattled company Beryllium Limited says they've taken even greater security measures in light of the enhanced risk associated with cash management during the holiday season. The company says they're cooperating with the police following Monday's gun attack. They're also urging anyone with information to assist the police. Beryllium acknowledged the bravery of their team, who continue to remain steadfast in their duties despite the dangers they encounter. Monday's incident is the latest in a series of attacks on Beryllium security guards since the start of the year. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is calling on the Integrity Commission to provide the Parliamentary Oversight Committee with an update into their probe of the 6 parliamentarians under suspicion of illicit enrichment. He raised the issue at a meeting of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee on Tuesday. Minister Chuck is concerned that no information about the investigation has been shared since notice of the probe was placed in the Commission's annual report published in July this year. The country still doesn't know the identity of the 6 parliamentarians and 28 other public officials who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, nor does the country know where the investigation has reached. This despite the general information about the probe being published 5 months ago by the Integrity Commission. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the information blackout isn't useful.
These 4 reports, Chairman, just about not filing statutory declaration, to my mind, was like a squib. I would say, Chairman, most persons sitting in Parliament thought that maybe the reports had to do with the illicit six persons who were being charged for it. And I want to say, Chairman, we need to hear from the Integrity Commission, when are those reports? If the sole number of 6 and 28, whether those matters have been cleared up, and if they have not been cleared up, the Commission should report on them as soon as possible. Because it shouldn't be too difficult, Chairman, for the IC to demand responses from whoever those 6 persons are and report it to Parliament as soon as possible.
Opposition member of the committee, Philip Paul, suggested that the Commission may be constrained to provide the update due to a shortage of staff, but Minister Chuck was quick to dismiss that suggestion.
Chairman, I just want to respond to Member Paulwell. Everything, to the best of my knowledge, that the IC asked for, they have got. To the best of my knowledge, every resource personnel that they have asked for, whether they have appointed them is another matter, okay? I believe that the budget that they have got for this fiscal year is close to $1.5 billion. Chairman, for the last 6 years, the Commission would have spent way in excess of $5 billion. And I'm saying that we want the IC to succeed, and the question of success is to show that corruption is being dealt with or being deterred across all levels of the society.
Delroy Chuck, Justice Minister. Those are the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay. Banton Sports is next.
Buckets of savings from Sherwin-Williams from November 23 to December 21. 12% off decorative paint, 10% off automotive paint. Purchase 5 gallons of paint and get a paintbrush free. 6 to 9 gallons and get 2 paintbrushes free. And over 10 gallons, get a paint roller set absolutely free. Get buckets of savings from Sherwin-Williams from November 23 to December 21. Available at all Sherwin-Williams paint stores. Conditions apply.
Happy holidays from Team Adam and Eve. We invite you to indulge in a relaxing spa atmosphere or gift someone spa pampering this season. Visit us at www.adamandevedayspaja.com for e-certificates or WhatsApp 876-567-2142. Relax, refresh, and respite with us today. We have Christmas packages starting at $8,500. Book a massage, facial, mani-pedi, or hair service at Adam and Eve Day Spa. You deserve it.
Here at Azan Super Center, you can fill your Christmas list.
It's a December to remember. Get ready for 24 days of deals with the Azan Super Center Super Sale. From now until Christmas, experience the sale event of the season with incredible savings on a wide range of items. There won't be a better time to get all of your gifts, decorations, and everything in between. So fill your Christmas list at the Azan Super Center Super Sale.
So this Christmas, make it Azan Super Center for sure.
It's a lifestyle.
We're having problems with our main YouTube page, but you can still enjoy our live stream on the YouTube platform. Go to Nationwide 90 FM Live or backup page to enjoy your favorite Nationwide programs. You can get there by simply typing @Nationwide News Network in your YouTube search window. You can also listen and interact with us through the Nationwide app and on your radio at 90.1, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Well, the West Indies, they fought back brilliantly against England, the world champions, in their opening T20 International at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados. When we were last with you at 5:27, England were going great guns. They were 65 without loss after 5 overs. Yeah? They were that brilliant. Let's look at this now. They are 130 for 5 after 13 overs and 4 balls. Here's the score sheet. Phil Salt, he was bowled by Andre Russell for 40. Joss Butler, the captain and wicket-keeper, he was bowled by Hussain, the Shakil Hussain, for 39. Jack was bowled by Alzari Joseph for 17. Ben Duckett was bowled by Romario Shepherd for 14. And Harry Brook was caught and bowled by Puran for off-holder for 1. So those are the batsmen back in the pavilion. Salt for 40, Butler for 39, Jacks for 17, Duckett for 14, and Harry Brook for 1. The not-out batsmen are Liam Livingston, he's on 6, and Sam Curran is on 1. So the West Indies have fought back really, really well. And the wickets, the 5 wickets have been spread amongst the 5 bowlers, Hussain, Holder, Russell, Joseph, and Shepherd. And the score at the minute, 135 for 5, exactly 14 overs gone in that game. Host South Africa beat India by 5 wickets under the Duckworth-Lewis method at the St. George's Park today to jump into an unassailable 1-0 lead in their 3-match T20 international series. Set a revised 152 off 15 overs. The Proteas covered the target, reaching 154 for 5 in 13 overs and 5 balls. Reza Hendricks made 49 and Aiden Markram 30. Earlier, India posted 180 for 7 off 19 overs and 3 balls in the rain-affected contest. Rinku Singh top scored with 68 and Surya Kumar Yadav 56 against the Gerald Corti 3 for 32. With the first game abandoned in Durban 2 days ago, India must now win the third and deciding game in Johannesburg on Thursday to earn a share of the point. The ICC has given an unsatisfactory rating to the pitch used for the second test between Bangladesh and New Zealand at the Shair Bangla National Stadium in Dhaka. The venue, as a result, has incurred 1 demerit point. It is an interesting choice of word to describe the pitch. The ICC has previously used very good, good, average, below average, poor, unfit, and while rating pitches. New Zealand beat Bangladesh by 4 wickets in one of the shortest test matches in terms of overs in recent memory. It was the 3rd shortest test match in which 35 or more wickets had fallen in this century. Spinners took 30 of the 35 wickets that fell to bowlers in the match, which only went into the 4th day due to rain and bad light on the 2nd and 3rd days. The Shair Bangla National Stadium last received a demerit point in early 2018 for a Bangladesh-Sri Lanka test. In 2021 alone, however, the venue received 7 average ratings in one-day internationals and the T20s. This year's edition of the World Athletics Awards changed from crowning a sole male and female winner to issuing awards across 6 categories. Swedish pole vaulter Armand Duplantis and the American sprint superstar Noah Lyles are amongst the 6 athletes who have been announced as World Athletes of the Year for 2023. World and Olympic champion Duplantis, Athlete of the Year in 2020 and 2022, took the inaugural Men's Field Award, while Lyles took home the Men's Track Award. Other winners announced were Tigis Asefa, Faith Kipyegon, Yudima Rojas, and Calvin Kiptoon. Sports analyst Leighton Levy says this method is more inclusive.
I think it recognizes the different disciplines, it recognizes the emerging athletes, it recognizes the field athletes, because more often than not, unless the field athlete wins the overall Athlete of the Year, they largely go unrecognized. When you look at what has happened in the last few years, especially with Armand Duplantis and with Ryan Krauser, as well as Yulmar Rojas, who has broken world record so many different times, but unfortunately hasn't gotten a chance to be recognized as one of the best in the world. You will see that track dominates the track and field. The segmenting of the awards, I think, makes it a lot fairer. I mean, the parity is better because the field athletes contribute as much to the sport as the track athletes, but they tend to get more of the recognition.
Leighton Levy. Former champions Manchester United are out of the European Champions League. In fact, they are out of Europe altogether. They lost 1-0 to Bayern Munich at Old Trafford today in their final group game in the Champions League. French international Kingsley Coman backed the winner for Bayern, who topped Group A with 16 points. That's 8 more than FC Copenhagen, who defeated Galatasaray also 1-0 to book second spot on the other round of 16 ticket from the group. Arsenal played out a 1-1 draw away to PSV Eindhoven to close out Group B as winners with 13 points. PSV took the other round of 16 spot. Eddie Nketiah, he got the goal for Arsenal. Real Madrid finished top of Group D with a 3-2 win over Union Berlin, while the Italian champions Napoli took second after beating SC Braga by 2-0, while in Group C, last season's beaten finalist Internazionale of Milan drew 0-0 with Real Sociedad. Both finished on 12 points apiece, but Sociedad won the group on goal difference, and Benfica defeated Salzburg by 3-1 in the groups of the game. The 2023 schoolboy football season climaxes tomorrow at the National Stadium with the Olivier Shield playoffs starting at 5. The showdown pits the newly minted Manning Cup champions Mona High School against repeat the Costa Cup champions Clarendon College. Both teams won their respective titles unbeaten and suffered defeat only in the Champions Cup. Mona at the first hurdle, Clarendon College in the final. The teams met in the Champions Cup last year with the Chapelton Bay School winning their quarter-final. Just before the game tomorrow, Mona will be presented with the Manning Cup after Issa abandoned the presentation following last Friday's final at the National Stadium. Organisers struggled to control the crowd as Mona High fans swarmed the infield following the final whistle despite pleas to refrain. When the field was partially cleared, the Mona players grabbed the trophy and sprinted away in celebration, with the organisers chasing to retrieve the Manning Cup. The celebration took an unfortunate turn as ugly scenes ensued, prompting the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association ISSA to cancel the Manning Cup presentation. And finally in sports at this time, a Turkish football club president has been arrested after punching a referee following a top-flight game on Monday. MKE Angakankuri, their president Faruk Koka, ran onto the pitch and struck match official Halil Umut Meler after his team conceded a 97th minute equalizer in a 1-1 draw with Kekor Rispor. Justice Minister Yilmaz Tunç said Koka and the two others were formally arrested for injuring a public official. All Turkish league games have been suspended following the incident. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said the incident was totally unacceptable and violence had no place in sport. Ankara Gucci is the club of national football player Ronaldo Cephas, formerly of Arnett Gardens. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
The original wine with the flavor, with little ginger for savor. Gain enough stamina, energy, them love the behavior. You know we drink to one solid like to one. When we drink to one ginger wine, to one ginger wine, to one solid like to one. When we drink to one ginger wine, to one ginger wine, solid like to one. When we drink up a stones, ginger wine.
Stones ginger wine, solid. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Christmas is on the way and bringing friends and family with it. I'm Jack, owner of Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. This year, entertain in style with a new patio or dining set and grill from Paradise Patio. We offer teak, aluminum, and wicker furniture, umbrellas too. Our high-quality American-made grills make a great gift, and we offer easy financing on everything. Buy today and enjoy tonight at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Winter Village Mall, Montego Bay.
When you speak, we listen.
We listen to all your stories
About how your business was started.
and every step along the journey to make it applicable to the problems you solve every day.
We have also listened to your cries for help.
The narrative surrounding limited cash flow.
Extended payment terms for buyers who just can't meet your 30-day credit term this month.
Next month,
And the month after that, we are here to help.
we have created Exim Express receivables financing so that your most important jobs get done.
With a turnaround time of 7 days and up to 75% of your receivables covered with no collateral or financials needed, you know you're in good hands. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Kukudu, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Shuttlebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchides Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
And Image Plus Consultants Limited, owners and operators of Apex Radiology.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams. A special one to our friends on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we weigh in live. We ask you to weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. And if you're on the YouTube stream and you sit at the studio, inside the studio, yes, we get little festivities, yeah? Get little festivities courtesy of Nationwide this morning, Christmas tree and all these things. Let's get to Public Opinion. A video of students from Mona High School storming the main gate of Jamaica College on Old Hope Road in St. Andrew during a motorcade Monday morning has been making the rounds on social media. Now, the motorcade was held by Mona to celebrate the school's first ever Manning Cup title following last Friday's 1-0 win against Tydal at the National Stadium. In the video, a student filming the incident on Instagram Live could be seen alongside other students hurling expletives at security personnel at the gate of Jamaica College as the motorcade came to a halt. The student is seen making a gun gesture with his fingers and pretending to fire shots at the gates of JC. Mona High students were seen leaving the vehicles in the motorcade and running towards the gate of JC, slamming their hands on the gate. They went onto the JC compound, and they were yelling expletives. Principal of Mona High School, Kevin Jones, has condemned the actions of his students.
It's an unfortunate incident. We condemn it totally. It doesn't represent the sort of culture and an image of Mona High School. We had no knowledge of this until it was brought to our attention recently. We didn't anticipate that this sort of thing would have happened, and it's very, very unfortunate. And I want to go public and apologize to Principal Robinson of Jamaica College. We had no intention of doing that sort of thing, and I promise that we will get to the bottom of it, and we will apply the necessary sanctions to the students who were involved in such an unfortunate incident.
Kevin Jones, principal of Mona High School. Now, before I go into the public opinion question, I must declare my hand here. I used to go to Mona High. Mona High School is my alma mater. For today, in public opinion, let me just get that out of the way. For public opinion this evening, we're asking your reaction to a video of students of Mona High storming the gates of Jamaica College. Now, I'm going to be very balanced in my response, but I'll take the responses on our Facebook platform first. Coming from Wesley Cunningham, JP, he says the behavior was unacceptable. They should be disciplined. Philip Jackson says excitement of achievement get the best of them. Youthful exuberance, it gets to their head, which they could not contain their emotions. El Comandante Mendez says, I don't have the adjectives to describe it. It was that bad. Natalie Winter says, students will be students. That is why adults are there to give guidance and instructions. No. Mona High School, the Mona High School that I went to, that I love so dearly. I can recall that we wanted this for so long. We wanted some sort of push in football, school football, for so long. We've been trying at it, and I am absolutely happy that we had this win. We got this win, and I'm very, very happy for the team. But the behavior, not justifiable any at all. So many things could have gone worse based on certain arguments that I'm hearing. You know, if Jamaica College students were out there at that particular time, so many things could have gone wrong and worse. And I'm thankful for that. But I respect Respect goes out to the principal, of course, Kevin Jones, who, he condemned the actions and he came out to apologize, and I respect that. If you're just joining us, we're in the court of public opinion. We're asking your reaction to a video of students of Mona High storming the gates of Jamaica College on our X platform. Let me get to the comments. Nadine Dockery says, no comments, just awaiting to hear who will blame it on the Prime Minister. Everything they want to give him the blame. All right. Just to Leo says, I see kids being overly excited and taking the celebrations too far. This after experiencing a historic victory, and that is what it was, a historic victory. This is a big thing for them, and they have joined the Giants. Adrian says, youthful exuberance. Kay Fender says, youthful enthusiasm and exuberance. Mona had always had to settle for playing second fiddle, so the first place excitement was too much. I agree. They did not know what to do with it, hence the stupid decision of storming the gate of JC. And if you, any at all, know Mona and Jamaica College, they're rivals. I don't know from how far back, from how when, them been at it. And it's just terrible if you ask me. From my days back then, they've been at it. And I won't tell you, when I left the school, because then you might figure out my age. But on our Instagram platform, T.S. Gutsmore says, stupid and baseless. Wonder if Mona know how much Manning Cup JC won. Leighton Levy says, rank indiscipline and they ought to be punished. Perhaps ban them from next year's competition. Leighton, I disagree with you, but it is public opinion, the court of public opinion, and I will acknowledge and respect your opinion. Going on over to our YouTube platform, Frank White says, Medea for the comments. All right, I see you. Brian Thomas says, the principals are dealing with it. Who are we to pass judgment? Well, you have an opinion. If not, Brian Thomas also saying, some of who condemning have done worse. Jacqueline Thomas saying, I'm going like my all. Up in age, Jacqueline. Girl up in age. Let me see. Carlene Smith says public. Okay, I see you. Let me see if I can get some more comments. Brian Thomas says, exactly. Give guidance. Don't just throw the book at them. I agree. News commentator J.A. says, Mona girls used to threaten us when I was in high school. Listen, we used to get threatened too. So, it's, as I say, it's a rivalry that has been for years, and I don't understand it. Don't understand it. Don't agree with it. Things need to be fixed. Merlene P. says, youthful exuberance. Jacqueline, you have no comment on this one. Cindy Lynch says, I'm so glad none of the JC students were outside because someone maybe would have been in the hospital or worse. And that's what I'm saying. It could have gone way worse. And I'm happy that, nothing went wrong or things went wrong. But it never got no further. Andrea Henry says they got caught up in the emotion and reacted. And that I think is what happened. Merlin P says children live what they learn. Let me see if I can get in some more. Greetings to you, Leroy Rotti. Big up yourself. Let me see. R. Phil Gale says from the 90s. But all in all, the behavior, not justifiable any at all. I guess, as everyone has been saying, youthful exuberance. Doesn't justify it. Orville Marshall says disgraceful. I can see the exuberance. Merlene P is agreeing that a long time them used to fight. And that is what I'm saying, and I don't understand it none at all. Steve Nugent says a win is a win. And we are take the win in a way. Honestly, take the win. We're so excited. I'm so excited for Mona High School. It's not even funny. Steve Nugent says a win is a win. The children happy. Yes, indeed, they were happy, but their behavior not justifiable. George Josephs, how are you going to say that I am biased when I'm saying that the behavior was not justifiable? It should not have happened. That's what I'm saying. It should not have happened, and the principal has since said that an investigation has been launched to identify the students in the video. An apology was made. I know that an apology doesn't make it right, and it should not have happened. No bias in that, Killian Henry says, give the youths them some love always. Always, always, always. YOY says Mona should be stripped or banned for a year. Okay, to each his own opinion right there. I respect that. Orville Marsh says, why would JC and Mona be enemies? Can't see with that. Listen, it has been going on for years. But thank you guys so much for participating. That's all the time we have for Public Opinion. Do remember you have the option of agreeing and or disagreeing, as you're entitled to your own opinion. Big up, Mona.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
And Image Plus Consultants Limited, owners and operators of Apex Radiology.
Persons who intend to promote any kind of gambling activity must apply to the BGLC for approval. For more information, call 876-630-1353. The time by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission is
6:34. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Let's get to it. CIBC First Caribbean has been named Bank of the Year by The Banker. That's a global authority for economic and financial intelligence in the financial sector. Now, the award was presented on November 30, 2023 at the prestigious Bankers Bank of the Year Awards Gala dinner in London. The Banker has been at the forefront of international banking coverage since 1926. Further afield, wage growth has slowed and the UK jobs market is showing signs of stalling. That's according to latest official figures. Pay growth, excluding bonuses, eased to 7.3% in the 3 months to October, while the number of vacancies dropped. But while earnings are not rising as quick as before, they're still outpacing inflation, which measures the rate at which prices are going up. Now, this suggests that the Bank of England is less likely to cut interest rates anytime soon. In other news, the maker of popular video game Fortnite has won a U.S. court battle against Google, with a jury deciding that the search giant had operated an illegal monopoly. Epic Games sued Google in 2020, accusing it of unlawfully making its App Store dominant over rivals. Hundreds of millions of people use the store to install apps for smartphones powered by Google's Android software. Google said it would challenge the outcome. The court is expected to start considering the issue of compensation in January. Now, despite the legal defeat, Google is continuing to defend its business model. And finally, in the currency markets, at the close of trading today, it cost 156 Jamaican dollars and 36 cents to buy $1 US. It cost 194 Jamaican dollars and 57 cents to buy £1 British pound and 115 Jamaican dollars and 20 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
It's Christmas time and there are gifts that go, gifts that blow, and then there are gifts that grow. Like a Sure Start savings account from CIBC First Caribbean. Sure Start is a savings account designed to grow with your children from birth to 17 years. It's easy to start and easy to grow, allowing you to top up and monitor at the ABM, online and through the mobile app. So give the gift of a brighter, smarter future with a Sure Start account from CIBC First Caribbean.
Missing persons, may I help you?
Yes, my wife is missing.
Where did you last see her?
In Kemlani-Mart. They have huge savings on living room, dining room, bedroom sets.
Really?
And that's not all. There are doors, toilets, tiles, low prices on TVs, fridges, stoves, and more.
Is your credit card missing, sir?
Yes, how you know?
She's still in Kemlani-Mart, sir. Go check.
Okay.
I love this place, you see.
Hello, I found her.
Kemlani-Mart, you will never want to leave.
Everybody, let's go! Join Nationwide at 5 as they broadcast live from the tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14 from 6 to 8 p.m. Under the distinguished patronage of His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, the KSAMC will host the City of Kingston's Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14, 2023, inside St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston. But wait, there's more! After the ceremony, enjoy a massive concert featuring performances by Ding Dong, AJ Brown, Pablo YG, Joan Flemings, Kukudu, 450, and a host of other artists, hosted by Miss Kitty. That's a live broadcast during Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, December 14 at St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston, only on Nationwide at 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
Brands, get into a melodious Christmas spirit with Caroling with Nationwide 90 FM. This is your chance to increase your reach and brand awareness in a creative way. Our wonderful listeners will compose a creative carol spotlighting your product, service, or brand. But here's the catch. You can only get this creative advertising by sponsoring one of our packages. So don't hesitate.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Caroling with Nationwide 90 FM runs from December 1 to 22. So don't miss out. Contact your sales representative or call us at 876-630-1210 for more information.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Double the joy, double the gratitude. Join Cliff Hughes online from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, December 13 and Thursday, December 14 as we broadcast live from the Accountant General Department's Customer Appreciation Day. Experience the warmth of appreciation on Wednesday, December 13 at the Manchester Parish Library. Then turn up in your numbers for Day 2 on Thursday, December 14 at 21 Dominica Drive. Mark your calendars for double the joy and double the gratitude. That's a live broadcast during Cliff Hughes online from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, December 13 and Thursday, December 14. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Accountant General Department.
6:40 on this Tuesday evening, Tuesday, December 12, 2023. You're inside the nation. Well, you're with the nation's business. My name is George Davis.
And I'm Cliff Hughes.
Well, during his contribution to the 2023-24 budget debate, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced that Heart NSTA Trust would waive tuition and administrative fees for several of its programs, and that the move would take effect from April 1.
In furtherance of the policy directive to increase the size of the trained labor force effective April 1, 2023, the Heart NSTA Trust will remove all tuition and administrative fees from its programs up to level 4, which is an associate degree. This will allow for access to vocational training for all Jamaicans regardless of economic status. This will be a game changer. This will be a game changer for poor, underserved youth who see fees as an obstacle for their participation in formal training.
The Prime Minister also noted that the Trust was developing centres of excellence and STEAM labs at several of its institutions. He also said there was a 48% increase in the number of trainees in courses as well as those certified.
Madam Speaker, in the current fiscal year, 133,577 trainees are enrolled in courses, and 50,632 have been certified, an increase of over 48% from the previous year. A cohort tracer study of graduates conducted during 2022-2023 financial year showed that 91% of graduates were working full-time jobs, and 83% indicated that they utilized the technical skills learned with their current employers.
That's the Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Meanwhile, the Minister with responsibility for skills and the digital transformation, Senator Dana Morris Dixon, has been calling for young people to take advantage of the free skills training opportunities being offered at HEART.
Academic achievements alone are not sufficient. The future is in skills, and we have the cutting edge programs in Jamaica for you. We have mechatronics at HEART. You have optoelectronics, which is all about drones and lights and billboards and how you do that technology. We do virtual welding. These are things that are at HEART. These are programs at our HEART. What that says is that we believe that our young people in Jamaica deserve the best skills training possible.
Senator Dana Morris Dixon, she was speaking at the launch of Fundu at the NCB Health and Recreation Centre in St. Andrew recently. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll invite our guest to respond.
Welcome to Paymaster. How can we help you today?
Morning, miss. I need to pay some bills and pick up remittance. I can do that here?
You can pay any bills, utilities, school fees, insurance, and microloan repayments. Plus, pay your toll tag and collect PAD and pension payouts.
Really?
Yes! We have over 200 Paymaster locations island-wide. Access our services with Paymaster Online, or you can pay bills, send cash, and top up with the MyCash app by Paymaster.
Thanks. Paymaster fast, accessible, and secure for true.
MyCash products is being tested in Bank of Jamaica's regulatory sandbox.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Kukudu, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Shuttlebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchideas Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
Become Team Jamaica certified to shape the future of Jamaica's tourism sector. TPDCO's Team Jamaica, shaping ambassadors for life.
The time by TPDCO's Team Jamaica training program is
6:45.
It's the Answers and Simplicity Select Your Discount sale. Up to 50% off when you select your discount at Answers Gifts and Home. Answers for Children and Simplicity. Answers and Simplicity Select Your Discount sale. Now on till Sunday, December 17, 2023.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
14 minutes going up to 7. Welcome back to the Nation's Business. We're talking now with the Managing Director of the HEART NSTA Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, on that initiative announced by the Prime Minister earlier this year in his budget presentation, saying that all tuition and administrative fees for several of the Trust's programs were now removed. Dr. Ingleton, good evening.
Good evening to you, Mr. Hughes.
Good. My co-host is George Davis.
Good evening, Mr. Davis.
Good evening.
So tell me, since the Prime Minister's announcement earlier this year, and April 1 has come and gone, are you seeing an uptick in the number of people applying to access your programs at HEART?
Thank you so much for that question, Cliff. Certainly, we would have seen an uptick in our enrollment. Since the announcement in the Prime Minister's budget debate, we have seen a 15.2% increase in enrollment at the trust. Our annual target is 128,000, and to date, as of October, we have exceeded our year-to-date projections. We are now at 98,180, which is essentially a 76.5% of our enrollment, and we are still in December. So we are way ahead of our projections, and we are very, very clear that it is because we have removed that barrier of a tuition, of administrative fees, that would have increased the access at the trust.
And what are the programs you're seeing a stronger than usual demand for?
So we are seeing a stronger than usual demand for especially our hospitality services program, the tourism sector. There is a boom in that area in terms of our beauty therapy, nail care. We're also seeing an increase in construction, and that is all areas of construction to include not necessarily just block laying, but also digital construction. We're seeing it in welding. We're seeing it in electrical installation. All the facets of construction would have improved. I think I mentioned already the beauty industry. Mm-hmm. So there is an increase in demand for individuals who want to do training at Salon 10 in terms of makeup artistry, nail care, massage therapy. We're also seeing an uptick in AC repairs, and especially, too, among the women. More and more of them are wanting to do programs in AC repairs. So certainly the trust has been experiencing a great level of enrollment, more interest as well. We get more calls. We get more messages on social media. We would have seen an increase in that presence as well. And even within the Caribbean, the regional space, there is more interest in terms of individuals coming to the trust for study tours, writing, asking if they can come and do a study of what we do and how we do it. The traction is really good, and I think we're doing very well.
You mean other Caribbean countries are sending people to look at what we're doing at the Heart?
Excellent. So we would have had visits from Grenada. We would have had visits from Turks and Caicos. We would have had individuals from the Cayman Islands as well coming through to us, and they are particularly interested in the model that the trust has. Just recently, we had the ILO conference, which had several Caribbean countries in the space, as well as countries in the Americas. And what is intriguing to them is the model that the Heart Trust has that is like no other in the world.
There was an issue not so long ago, Dr. Ingleton, concerning staying the course, speaking literally, because yes, the report was that many people would start the Heart programs, but then they would fall away. Is that true? That's A. And B, will that be cured by the fact that it will now cost nothing to subscribe to the program for its duration?
That is indeed true. We would have had attrition over the years, and we would have had attrition for multiple reasons. One reason, of course, would be finances. For some individuals, however minimal the fee, it is still a fee. And we do serve the communities in the Zozos more than perhaps anywhere else. We do have a mandate for the underserved and the unattached youths. And so we recognize that indeed there was an attrition in that regard. And so what we would have done, other than the removal of fees, we had to do some rearranging in terms of how we do things. We had to increase our residential training intake because we recognize that our youth in the communities, especially in the hotspot communities, we may start a program and based on whatever influence they drop out of the program. And so we increased our residential training base. That is, we got them out of the community into residential training where they would be 100% supervised, given lunch, stipend, and being in our care for 24 hours. So what that did, that helped them to complete the program. And then after we did that, we placed them in jobs. And sometimes we do that away from the communities that they were in so that we could cut off that influence. So that's one thing that we did to ensure that we didn't have as much attrition as we had before.
We had a discussion several weeks ago, which prompted a conversation about Heart and what it was doing. We spoke to someone involved in fashion design and someone involved in construction. And based on what they said, they said that they could not find youngsters to, and when you say youngsters, not necessarily people young in age or people young in the business. They could not find apprentices to bring the business forward. They had more business than they had bodies to allow them to meet the demand from those who wanted their services. And that put the focus squarely on Heart. Was Heart training enough of these people? Is it unfair to suggest that Heart isn't producing enough of what is want in of what is wanted in the critical sectors in the country?
All right. That is a very good question. And I say that because the trust continues to train individuals. We would have graduated approximately 11,000 individuals just across November and December. And the individuals that we train, the particular programs that we provide, these are programs that are industry-led, as in we offer a program based on the demands of industry. So I do get that complaint that there may not be enough, but I want to indicate that as soon as we are completed, as soon as we're finished with them, they are taken up by industry. So it is not that we are not training, but I do agree that perhaps given the demand, we may need to scale up. We also have to look at the fact that we train individuals, we certify them, and they may choose to take up other opportunities that may be outside of Jamaica. So we're finding that more and more that we are providing them with the certification. The certification is portable. It is of a high quality, a high level. It can be used across the Caribbean as well as Commonwealth countries. And so they do move with this certification. But indeed, what cannot be said is the quality of the graduates that we put out. Certainly, they are taken up by industry sometimes even before we are finished with them. And so we recognize the need to scale up, even though our numbers are large. As I said, 11,000 across 2 months we put out just recently. And we have an enrollment target now of 128,255, and we have fulfilled 98,000 of that. So we are training in large numbers, but our people may be taking up opportunities otherwise. And so what we will be doing, we'll be scaling up apprenticeships. We will be working with the different sectors to see how best it is that we can streamline or programs a little bit more and have our graduates linked or aligned to specific industries, have the work experience within the space so that when they are completed, that would be their first
Let me ask you this. Would you be brave enough to say that there's nobody who has graduated the hospitality training program at Heart or the construction, whatever area of construction that they've trained in, that there's nobody who's graduated any of those programs who wants work, who doesn't have a job?
I would be brave enough to say that who wants work but doesn't have a job.
Yes, because they can't find it.
I don't think it is that they can't find it. I think it is that they are at a stage in their careers where they believe they have a choice. They can decide where they work. They want to demand how they are compensated. They are in a position to articulate that which they are looking for in a workspace. But I wouldn't say that there would be Heart Trust trainees right now with certification sitting at home and cannot get a job. It really boils down to their choice, because industry has been indicating that we want people to work. Heart Trust trainees have been saying we are Monday morning ready. We are able, we are capable. And so it is a case where they may be comfortable at home doing whatever it is that they may want to doing at the time, but it is not that they can't find work. Work is there, but they too have a choice in terms of where they work and how they are.
2 weeks ago, we saw Wisynco. Cliff, was it 2 weeks ago that Wisynco said? 2 Fridays ago that they needed
I saw
almost 200 people to allow them to advance their expansion plans, and they wanted people skilled in machine shop, in I don't want to say basic engineering because the engineers might vex with me, but in that area, in terms of industries like that, manufacturing especially, and what the manufacturers say they need from people who they really want to employ now. Does HEART offer that kind of training to a significant enough cohort to service that area?
Well, definitely the manufacturing industry is one of the largest industries. And the manufacturing, in terms of the uptake in HEART and the programs that we offer, the manufacturing industry perhaps is one of our greatest focus. We do offer the training across HCCS, which is HEART College of Construction Services, and NTI, which is the National Tools and Engineering Institute. Those are the two areas where we pull our trainees from for the manufacturing industry. We recognize that training has to look differently. And so that is why we would have invested in high-level technology to ensure that we're able to train more individuals at a higher quality. And so, for example, our virtual welding, which is specifically linked to the manufacturing and fabrication industry, we have been placing heavy focus on, because with a program like that, an instructor can be training 2 students at the same time in a shorter time span, getting real-time update on their progress, increasing safety with no metal, no spark, no heat, and we're able to get trainees at a higher quality moving into industry. So we have recognized some of those things, have been investing in high-level technology to produce more trainees at a higher level.
We're talking with the Managing Director of the HEART Trust NSTA, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton. Before we run out of time, Dr. Ingleton, I want to ask you, in terms of the applicants you're seeing, yes? What are the skills set? How ready are they when they apply?
That is an excellent question. And Cliff, we have recognized that the applicants may come with basic technical competence. They may have the desire to want to learn more, but there is a gap in terms of their soft skills, their leadership skills, their time management skills, and what we refer to as employability skills. And so because we recognize that, we've started to do psychometric testing. And the psychometric testing is telling us right off the bat that the customer service and the problem-solving skills are weak, and extraordinarily so, to the point where we have the scores of like 38% in that area. And so immediately we know that without training in communication skills, entrepreneurial skills, time management, leadership skills, however much we equip them with the technical competencies needed to advance in the workspace, they cannot go very far. And so what we have done, we have changed the curriculum. We normally have the employability skills as an appendage, that which you learn after all of the technical things. We've moved that and integrated it into the curriculum so that as they go along, they are learning these skills. And what this is doing is helping us to put out more refined graduates, individuals who are more ready for the workspace. So we would have started that about 2 years ago, and we are improving on that as we go along. And so what we can promise industry is that certainly when you get a HEART graduate now, you will not only get an individual at the highest standards in terms of technical competencies, but the employability communication skills will definitely be there. So there is increased focus. We have partnered with Accenture, which is an institute out of the United States of America. They offer their services free to the trust to train the individuals in employability skills. We've partnered with City and Guilds as well for their employability skills program to ensure that all our trainees are are given that opportunity to really excel in the world of work.
How many, when we think of HEART NSTA Trust and the programs offered, we always think of young people. I've always been curious. How many people who are in trade, so in other words, a man saying a tradesman, and he's been working as a tradesman for a while, how many of those people actually come to HEART to get the certification, even though they've been working in the area before, but they want the certification to add that level of authenticity. And of course, they want to learn something. Do you get a lot of those students?
So we treat with those individuals through the prior learning assessment recognition. And so you may not have certification, you may not have anything formal, but you have been tiling for years. What we do, we come on site where you're doing your actual tiling, and we assess you. Sometimes we even take the equipment to you. So you do not have to come to us. You do not have to have the equipment. We set up the area for you, and you engage in the activity. You are assessed on spot, and where there are gaps, we identify those gaps, and we work with you to fill those out. If it is that there are no gaps, we will certify you immediately through the processes that we engage. So we have been doing quite a number of that. I want to also indicate to Jamaica that just last week, in our graduation, there were individuals who were 70 years old graduating from Hart. I think that was the oldest person, 70 years old. Individuals who were 68.
In what area? In what skill area? The 70-year-old.
The individual that was 70 years old that graduated across Region 6 was in the area of agriculture.
Oh, so Cliff can't come hard.
Yes, definitely. So he recognized that he has life left in him, and he wanted certification to advance himself at that age, and he engaged with Heart and went through his training and was duly certified.
Thank you.
So definitely Heart Trust is for every Jamaican.
Dr. Tanisha Ingleton is the Managing Director of the Heart Trust NSDA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I will be a young graduate.
You're going to learn Cliff Welding.
Time for the break. After the break, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, he's playing host to the presidents of Ghana and Venezuela.
It's Christmas time, and there are gifts that go, gifts that blow, and then there are gifts that grow. Like a Sure Start savings account from CIBC First Caribbean. Sure Start is a savings account designed to grow with your children from birth to 17 years. It's easy to start and easy to grow, allowing you to top up and monitor at the ABM, online and through the mobile app. So give the gift of a brighter, smarter future with a Sure Start account from CIBC First Caribbean.
Missing persons, may I help you?
Yes, my wife is missing.
Where did you last see her?
In Kemlani Mart. They have huge savings on living room, dining room, bedroom sets.
Really?
And that's not all. There are doors, toilets, tiles, low prices on TVs, fridges, stoves, and more.
Is your credit card missing, sir?
Yes, how you know?
She's still in Kemlani Mart, sir. Go check.
Okay.
I love this place, you see.
Hello, I found her.
Kemlani Mart, you will never want to leave.
Rev up the celebration! Join the sound off on Thursday, December 14 as they broadcast live from B-Mall Auto's 20th Anniversary and Customer Appreciation Day in Mandeville. Enjoy discounts, exciting giveaways, prizes and surprises across all 3 B-Mall locations in Kingston, Santa Cruz and Mandeville. This is a day that spotlights customers. The sound off will be on the ground, capturing the excitement and engaging with staff and customers of B-Mall Auto. That's a live broadcast during the sound off on Thursday, December 14, 2023 from 1 to 3 p.m. from B-Mall Auto's 20th Anniversary and Customer Appreciation Day. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of The Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
7 minutes after 7 in Kingston, Jamaica. It's 7 minutes after 8 in the Eastern Caribbean island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where the Guyanese president, Irfan Ali, is set to meet with the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, tomorrow. Or Wednesday, on Thursday.
Thursday.
Tomorrow is Thursday, right?
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Wednesday, getting it all wrong. Yes, the meeting comes amid Venezuelan threats to annex Ghana's Essequibo region.
A statement from the office of Irfan Ali says he was contacted by leaders from the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC, and CARICOM, who encouraged dialogue between him and his Venezuelan counterpart. The statement says, while Ali reiterated that the matter is currently before the International Court of Justice and is not for bilateral discussion, he agreed to meet with President Maduro.
The meeting is set for St. Vincent and will reportedly be observed by CARICOM and a UN Under-Secretary General. In a letter to both presidents, host Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez says the meeting is urgent given how much is at stake for Caribbean and Latin American civilizations. Dr. Gonzalez joins us now. Good evening, Dr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, my brother.
How are you, my brother?
I'm fine. All the best to you and the people of Jamaica.
And same to you and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Big assignment on Thursday for you as Prime Minister. You are now the longest serving Prime Minister in the Caribbean. 5 consecutive terms, 22 years continuously. You are the elder statesman in the region. Would that have played a part in getting Maduro and Ali to the table?
I really don't know. I'm not personalizing this. I'm currently the pro tempore president. Well, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is currently the pro tempore president of CELAC, the Community of States of Latin America and the Caribbean, to which both the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela belong. And Guyana is a member of CARICOM, and so too St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and both regional entities, CELAC and CARICOM, have been sometimes seized of this issue. Mm-hmm. And I know President Maduro very well. I so too President Ali. Mm-hmm. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have had strong historical ties with both countries. I know that both leaders have articulated in the public sphere that they're interested in the unity of the Caribbean and Latin America. They are supportive of international law. They respect and promote the Caribbean and Latin America as a zone of peace. They both of them publicly have said that they do not want to solve any dispute by the threat of force or the use of force. And this issue is a big one. If there is not a proper resolution,
but what are you
consequences can be horrendous.
What are you hoping to achieve, though, Prime Minister? Because both have declared that in the case of Ghana, they're going to be sticking with the jurisdiction of the ICJ. They're not into negotiations about giving up territory. Maduro has declared that he does not respect the jurisdiction of the ICJ, and he continues to make his claim. The CARICOM heads are not talking about ceding territory. They're talking about really an appropriate dialogue between the leaders for peaceful coexistence and the application and respect for international law. What are you hoping to achieve? Because they're miles apart.
Well, first of all, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and CARICOM and CELAC, and in this case, if you talk about the personalities, the chairman currently of CARICOM, the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerritt, we are not mediators. St. Vincent and Grenadines, we are facilitating, and the other personalities would be here, including the chair of CARICOM and myself, that we are interlocutors. There's a problem, a serious challenge, and we are seeking to have both leaders sit down to address the matters consequential to the border controversy. That's the formulation, matters consequential to the border controversy. And the leaders would sit down and we'll talk through the issues consequential to the border controversy, and we see where that takes us. Of course, once people are speaking, they're less likely to have open conflict. So you asked me the question as to what I expect. I'm not a mediator. I'm a facilitator, and I'm an interlocutor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but there must be an overarching objective here.
I just told you what they are. If you want me to give you what the solution is going to be, I'm not going to venture there because of the role that I have. I'm sure that both President Maduro and President Ali are coming to the dialogue to do the things which I'm talking about.
Well,
and for us,
let me ask you another way then,
for
Prime
us really
Minister.
to talk rather than to war or to have conflict.
Let me ask you in another way then, Dr. Gonzalez. Based on the timetable and the formula that will be put into effect come Thursday when both of them are in St. Vincent, is it part of the plan that both Maduro and Ali will face each other?
That they will what?
Be face-to-face talking with each other.
Yes, the dialogue is face-to-face. It's not virtual.
No, but you say you're a facilitator, you're an interlocutor. Therefore, you could be in one room and they're in another room, and I'm trying to work out the mechanics. So they will be facing each other.
I am St. Vincent and Grenadines, we are facilitating the dialogue, and I'm an interlocutor. And if you interlocute, other persons are talking. The principals are talking, and I'm helping that conversation. Mm-hmm. But they'll be there face to face, my brother, talking.
Yeah.
They'll be in the same room.
Hear you loud and clear, and they will be supported by their respective teams. So
they'll be supported by their respective teams, and there's a special envoy, a very experienced diplomat, 10 years as foreign minister and 5 years as defense minister of the Federative Republic of Brazil, Celso Amorim, Amorim. He's a personal envoy of President Lula. And I expect, though this is to be confirmed either later today or tomorrow morning, I expect that we will see a senior official. Well, somebody's coming from the United Nations, and I'm hopeful that person may be a Jamaican brother who is very much a senior diplomat at the United Nations.
That's at the level of what level?
Well, in the office of the Secretary General, my brother Antonio Guterres.
Oh,
not Antonio himself.
I know. Yes. You're talking Are you speaking of Mr. Rattray?
I'm hopeful that that's the case.
Oh, and Mr. Rattray is
he's chef de cabinet.
Yeah, to Guterres.
I'm hopeful, and that someone from the Department of Political and Peace Building Affairs is also likely to be in St. Vincent and the Grenadines from the office of the Secretariat of the United Nations. So we have some wise and mature persons who are going to be there with two wise and mature leaders, and I expect patience and calm. This is not a T20. It's not a one-day international. It's a test series.
So
and home and away, and perhaps both countries and both leaders have confidence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so we may see both the home and away games played here.
Interesting.
I'm using metaphors.
Yes, I picked that up. So the talks may go on well beyond a day or 2 or weeks or months.
Well, it's scheduled for Thursday, but you're not going to solve matters relating to this controversy, which controversy has been around since the middle of the 19th century, and there was an arbitral award that you know of, 1889, and then there was a 1996 agreement, 1966 agreement, sorry.
1899 and 1966.
1899 and 1966, and then there have been subsequent conversations on the 1966 agreement, and we are where we are now.
Yes.
And you know, my brother, in human history, when we don't, experience has taught us that when we don't talk to one another, when we don't communicate, when we don't seek to resolve problems peacefully, the opposite of peace may occur.
Yes.
These are two countries which they're neighbors, and they have had historically good relationships. They've had, of course, this particular challenge.
Well, let me put it to you, Dr. Gonzalez.
But it's not beyond us.
But somebody will have to concede. Somebody will have to cede. Somebody will have to compromise.
Well, we will see what happens, my brother. You want me to give you an answer to a question you're posing over Nation Radio, and I can appreciate that.
Nationwide.
Nationwide, sorry.
Yes.
But what I can do is to speak very carefully towards the process.
Yes.
And the alternative to what we are engaged in, potentially, can be horrendous to contemplate.
Horrendous. As
to contemplate.
Horrendous as in? How? What?
Well, you know, we have seen in human history that conflicts can escalate, and they can escalate with the parties directly and with other parties. And where it would lead, if you allow your contemplation to take all the factors into account, that it could be a very terrible situation, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
But you, as a member of CARICOM, and this is St. Vincent and Prime Minister Gonzalez now, are on record as saying that, listen, Venezuela should respect what has been established for more than 100 years now and remain within its borders, and that CARICOM is unequivocally in support of Guyana's stance. right?
Well,
isn't that correct?
The different parties, the two parties, they have, as you know, and as you began to articulate very early, and as I pointed out in my letter to both of them, and as they have responded to me in accepting the offer to come to St. Vincent and Grenadines to have this face-to-face dialogue, they've also staked out their positions. These things are matters of record. Nobody said that this is easy. A strenuous life in pursuit of peace, however, is preferable to a life of ignoble ease in perpetual conflict or even a violent endeavor. And I'm speaking in general terms.
Very general. And it's
which you, my brother, would expect me to do as a facilitator and an interlocutor.
Yes, I expect that. Yes.
I know you. When I came on here tonight, I know you probe me for certain kinds of answers, but you're not going to get them because
let's try
I myself don't have them.
No, you do. You do, because you're a very, very experienced hand at this. You know this issue very well. Yes, you're friends of both parties, the Venezuelans and the Guyanese, and deep down, you want a peaceful resolution. These are your friends, but also deep down, you know. You, Ralph Gonzalez. Yes, but you also know deep down, Ralph Gonzalez, that the Venezuelans are on the wrong side of the issue. Don't you?
Well, I am not, in my particular role, going to pronounce to you who is on the wrong side or who is on the right side. What I know is that peace is preferable to perpetual conflict. And that is what we are trying to achieve. And I believe that both leaders are seeking to do that.
You think so? Huh? You don't.
And that is a preferred. That's a preferred course. And each of the leaders, each of the countries, has its own position, and each of them is convinced that it is right in each position which it holds. And we will see how the discussion would lead us to a better place, not conflict.
Yes. Maduro, Prime Minister, is in a difficult spot. He's struggling politically at home. He's facing presidential elections next year.
So too is President Biden.
So
too is President Biden.
Yes, but for now, let us.
If you formulate it like that, other persons may say, no, he's not struggling in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a highly competitive political system, and you're at the mercy of the electorate, and you may be down a particular season or a particular day, and then you may be up again. And one awaits verdicts.
But in the case of Maduro, I was about to put to you, Prime Minister, that Maduro is struggling. He needs something to give him a political fillip. He needs it. And this is what he is hoping to bank on. But he's on the wrong side of history here. Not even his own people are too enthused about his actions.
I wouldn't comment one way or the other on your declaration.
Yes. But it's not far-fetched.
Huh?
It's not far-fetched.
Well, you can seek to cross-examine as much as you want, and that you're not going to get me beyond what I just said to you.
Ralph Gonzalez, you will be doing a mighty job if you're able to get them at least talking. Yes, certainly. You're hoping for us to de-escalate the rhetoric in a very immediate short term, aren't you?
Well, yes, that's part of the objective.
Yes,
and I think that you have seen over the last few days, as though both President Ali and President Maduro have publicly restated their positions in letters to me, that you will concede that some of the harshness of the rhetoric has lessened, even as they have put forward to their people and to the region and to the world their respective positions.
Yeah,
I think you.
And that's a small gain, and that's definitely a small gain. That's progress.
Well, I would say tremendous. There are many differences and conflicts in human history, and you will know examples which have simply gotten completely out of hand, in the sense of turning to force in some protracted way, because there was not an opportunity to pause and say, let's talk this through and see if there's a better way.
Yeah.
I mean, you are correct in your introductory statement when you said that President Maduro is talking about the 1966 agreement and for further discussion and dialogue, and that President Ali is saying, look, there's been a dialogue under the 1966 agreement. The Secretary General of the United Nations, who was at the center of this good offices dialogue, that he said you should use another forum, and the suggested forum was the ICJ.
Yes.
And as you have correctly said, that Guyana has gone to the ICJ, and the ICJ is deliberating on that matter. But Venezuela said, listen, we are not respecting the jurisdiction of we're not subjecting ourselves to the jurisdiction, the compulsory jurisdiction of the.
So Prime Minister, yes,
my brother.
Complete your thought.
Yes, and I'm just saying that there are several countries in the world which have not by statute decided that they would be subject to the jurisdiction of the ICJ, but on this particular issue, Guyana itself has said, yes, we're going that particular route.
Yes.
And they have an interpretation of the 1966 agreement and what has happened, which, as you intimated in your earlier remarks, which Venezuela doesn't have.
But
and
Prime
you're
Minister,
quite correct in saying that there is a divide in that regard.
But Prime Minister, I'll go further to say that you must be conscious of the fact that going into Thursday, Venezuela is diplomatically isolated internationally on this issue. Wouldn't you say?
Well,
and that you're really giving them something of an out?
I'm not making some of the judgments you're making with finality.
No,
All
I'm
I'm
not.
saying is that
I'm putting it to you.
okay, fine. Well, you put it to me, but I don't have to answer what you put to me. What I could answer affirmatively to you is that I know dialogue and conversations are preferable.
Sure.
Than not having conversations.
But also, Venezuela is isolated diplomatically in the international community. Name me one country that has come out in support of Venezuela's claim to the Essequibo.
I'm not getting into counting who is supporting whom and who is not supporting whom.
No, but it's part of the reality, the geopolitical reality of this regional issue.
You can make a judgment on that and an assertion on that, and I'm sure other persons would either.
Well, aren't you giving Venezuela a potential out here?
But that's to me, as far as my role is concerned, that is an abstract position, a theoretical position.
That Venezuela is isolated diplomatically?
No. I'm saying, as far as I am concerned, to join you in that would be, in my role, an abstract proposition. I'm facilitating and I'm interlocuting.
Yes. I wish you all the best, Prime Minister Gonzalez.
And I continue to wish you all the best in your interrogation. I'm quite sure that your listeners would be very proud of you, and at the same time they would appreciate that you have a particular role and I have a different one.
Absolutely.
This is Paul, servant of the Lord, called to be an apostle. I'd addressed that question long ago in the book of Romans,
Prime Minister?
And to go from the New Testament to the Old, there's a time and a season for everything.
Yes.
There's a time for planting and there's a time
for the reaping.
And
Prime Minister,
there's a time for love and there's a time for fear and there's a time for talking and there's a time for not talking.
And a time for peace and a time for war.
Absolutely. I know you're a wise man and you'll follow what I'm saying.
Yes. But Prime Minister Gonzalez, as usual, we're both old hands at this and I respect your position. You respect mine.
And I'm sure you would appreciate that I would reply to you the manner in which I reply to you.
Of course.
And that the role that I have is one
entirely understandable,
which I'm sure that you respect.
Of course, I do. It was all
and as you have conceded that having the conversation is progress. You say small, other persons may say large.
Okay, good. Well, for the region, I hope you're successful in de-escalating the rhetoric and the tension. We want the Caribbean to remain a zone of peace.
There was a resolution to be considered on yesterday at the Organization of American States, and that because of the discussions the dialogue which we're having in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the interested parties in that particular resolution decide to have that discussion postponed there to give these discussions here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines a chance to see where they would lead to, and that is part of admirable de-escalation. Of course, Venezuela is not a member anymore of the OAS, and it's. If you look around on what has been happening, you will see that there has been a general de-escalation of the sharp rhetoric.
Yes, yes. Prime Minister.
Though there's some who may not be interested in that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But thank God that the principals in this matter are interested in a de-escalation and interested in a conversation, interested in a face-to-face dialogue.
And they have.
And let's see what it brings
and
forth.
they have in Ralph Gonzalez a facilitator who are their friends. Both of them can be confident that you are a friend and you come from a place of friendship, yes, and wanting a peaceful resolution.
I've been toiling in the vineyard of the Caribbean and Latin American civilization as a political activist now for 55 years.
Wow.
And
Ralph Gonzalez, you became Prime Minister 22 years ago, right?
Yes, March 2001. It's
Yes.
almost
you won elections.
March next year would be 23 years.
Yeah, you won elections in 2001, 2003, 2010, 2015, 2020. You have been serving as Prime Minister for 5 consecutive terms. When are you going to retire?
When the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines decided they would like to retire me, and when the good Lord, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, released me.
Why do you put that burden on the good Lord?
That's not a burden.
Of course it is.
The good Lord chooses, you know. He has chosen you for a particular thing in life, you know. Don't you believe that?
I think so, yes.
Well, why, if you think he has done that to you, why hasn't he done that to his servant Ralph?
But tell me, the servant Ralph, at what point do you begin to get diminishing returns?
Well, if you look at what is happening in St. Vincent and Grenadines, you wouldn't see the diminishing returns yet.
Yeah?
You wouldn't see right now, the last year, St. Vincent and the Grenadines had nearly 6% economic growth. We're going to have that a number over 5% this year, similar number next year, and into 2025, a number there or thereabouts. So long as we don't have any natural disasters or any major conflagration of any kind. You know, if we don't have what the people in global political economy call a realization of downside risks.
Yes. How old are you now, Prime Minister?
I'm 77 now.
77.
And I'm young, and those the person who's closest to me affirms of my youth.
Your vim, vigor, and vitality.
No, bliss was it in that dawn to be alive, but to be young is very heaven.
Yes.
The youthful condition is heavenly, but for persons like me, it's blissful to be alive.
Yes. But you have been at this for 55 years.
Yeah, yes. I cut my political eye teeth
in
Jamaica.
Here's a question, Prime Minister. At 77, don't you now want to stop doing this and go enjoy your life? Get up one morning and don't have to think about the matters of state, the burdens, the challenges, the problems of state. You now want to go and, whether it is you watch your cricket and not to worry about being called about this. You don't yearn for that?
I watch cricket, and I do writing in the last 13 years. I have written 4 full-length books and about 7 or so substantive monographs.
Yes.
And I continue to do things that I enjoy doing.
I see.
Huh?
You're born to it.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just telling you what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I leave the rest. I leave the rest to.
But you have a team.
Your judgment.
You have a team. Your son Camilo isn't he the finance minister in your government now? Yes.
Yes.
You have groomed him well enough.
Well, we have lots of.
Exactly.
We have lots of young.
So why hold on?
We have lots of young persons in the cabinet over the last few years.
Yes.
We have a number of our cabinet members who are in their 30s and in their 40s.
Mm-hmm. So your succession plan is well underway, is it?
Oh yes, in the year 2050, the person who's just joined the cabinet, she'll be 57. I, of course, will be 104. I wouldn't be prime minister, but I'll be 104, God willing, in 2050. And I'm sure you're going to be around. And when I come to Jamaica, we'll have a red stripe there. A red stripe will be around.
Of course. I don't know if I'll be around, but certainly red stripe.
By the way, we are having, now that we're talking things Jamaican, in March, in early March, the 1st of March.
Yes.
29th of February next year, 1st of March. CELAC, the Summit of the Community of States of Latin America and the Caribbean, will be held at Sandals Resorts in Vincent and Grenadines, which would then have its soft opening and then will go public the end of March.
Yes.
It's amazing, eh?
Right.
You'll have an opening there like you've never had before for any sandals.
I hear you.
And we are very pleased to see this major investment
Mm-hmm.
in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Very well.
In fact, right now, they're on two projects. Sandals in St. Vincent that's over $200 million US, and we are doing a modern port which is in excess of $250 million US. So on two projects alone, you're talking about nearly $500 million US.
So you want to see those before you hang up your gloves?
No. I'm not a man just about projects.
Uh-huh.
Projects by themselves.
So what is left for you to achieve, to tick off?
Well, from a personal standpoint, I only have 4 personal ambitions remaining.
Those are?
The first is that at the moment of my death, I must have no more sins to confess. At the moment of my death, I must have no enemies. You may have me as an enemy, but I wouldn't have you as my enemy.
No, I wouldn't.
And thirdly, at the moment of my death, I must own nothing.
Oh?
And fourthly, at the moment of my death, I must not leave behind any unfinished task. You know that? You know the favorite, that beautiful hymn?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
No, tell me.
No, the one about you're a church. You're not a church boy from.
I wouldn't say so.
Oh, It's amazing. We started on Venezuela and Guyana.
I hear where we have landed.
And because we have exhausted it in terms of the framework, we have gone into with other things which I'm sure some of your listeners would be.
Ralph, they're running us off the radio.
They're running us
off
the radio. That between all my meetings today,
yeah.
I said I feel like having a Jamaican beef patty and sent to buy one.
Ah, and you got one in St. Vincent?
Yeah, we have them in St. Vincent. They're all about.
Yeah,
and they're all about.
You have what brand you have down there? Tasty, juicy beef, Mother's what?
Well, it tastes to me as though if this tasty patties.
Ah.
I don't know. I have never inquired as to the origin. All I know is a Jamaican beef patty, and it's very nice.
And you have it with a cocoa bread?
No, I didn't have it with cocoa bread.
Well, you had it with.
I had my patty by itself with coconut water, Vincentian authentic coconut water.
Okay, good.
Between my all my many meetings arranging for Thursday.
You asked a Jamaican beef patty.
I felt like having a Jamaican beef patty.
Yes, good.
And I asked my security to get one, and they went and got one for me.
Very well. As usual, Ralph Gonzalez, Dr. Ralph
It's good
Gonzalez.
talking to you, my brother.
As always.
Love
Thank
you,
you.
eh?
Yes, love you too. Good. All right. Good. This is this is Nationwide at 5. We're going to take your calls after the break, 63093-7124 or 618-8255.
Christmas in the air, special time of year when we share with those we hold dear. Friends and family gather round the tree, making memories with rice and gunga peas. Peace and goodwill this season with fellowship and sharing, fun, kindness and love to everyone. Sharing good tidings along with Christmas pudding. Merry, 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 merry Christmas from Multilink.
Missing persons, may I help you?
Yes, my wife is missing.
Where did you last see her?
In Kemlani Mart. They have huge savings on living room, dining room, bedroom sets.
Really?
And that's not all. There are doors, toilets, tiles, low prices on TVs, fridges, stoves, and more.
Is your credit card missing, sir?
Yes, how you know?
She's still in Kemlani Mart, sir. Go check.
Okay.
I love this place, you see.
Hello, I found her.
Kemlani Mart, you will never want to leave.
No matter where you are, there's something about the holiday season that always pulls you home. To be with the people you love and care about.
This holiday season, let Sagicor Bank help you make that home your own with a special mortgage offer that gives you a $2 million line of credit you could use to go solar and make your home eco-friendly. Put down your roots this Christmas with an affordable mortgage from Sagicor Bank. Conditions apply.
Double the joy, double the gratitude. Join Cliff Hughes online from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, December 13 and Thursday, December 14 as we broadcast live from the Accountant General Department's Customer Appreciation Day. Experience the warmth of appreciation on Wednesday, December 13 at the Manchester Parish Library. Then turn up in your numbers for day 2 on Thursday, December 14 at 21 Dominica Drive. Mark your calendars for double the joy and double the gratitude. That's a live broadcast during Cliff Hughes online from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, December 13 and Thursday, December 14. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Accountant General Department.
Ten minutes going up to 8 o'clock. Today is the 12th of December. It's also the birthday of former Prime Minister Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller. And we want to wish Portia, Sister P, Mama P, yes, a very good and happy birthday. You know, Sister P is having her struggles. She was born this day, 12th December, 1945. That means she turned, yes, a sprightly 78 today. Yes, 78 years old today. And we want to say to Mama P, Sister P, Portia, yeah, when I grew up, we just simply called her Portia. Yeah, it's her birthday today. And this is for you, Portia.
This one goes out to all my women, you know, my strong women. So amazing how this world was made. I wonder if God is a woman. The gift of life astounds me to this day. I give it up for the woman. She's the constant wind that fills my sail. Oh, that woman. With a smile and a star, she'll protect you like a child. That's a woman. She'll put a smile upon her face and take you to the higher place. So don't you underestimate the strength of a woman. The strength of a woman. Woke up this morning, got up with a scent of a woman. Just picture if you would what life would be. Ain't much good without a woman. She can nag and be a constant pain. Oh, that woman. Those hips, she's got me whipped, and it's just too hard to resist. What a woman. Hey, she'll put a smile upon her face and take you to the higher place. So don't you underestimate the strength of a woman.
Shaggy for Sister P. Yes, today's her birthday. Yes, happy birthday, Sister P. Yeah, all of 78 years old today. And we want to send her a lot of love and happiness. Yes, on this, her special day. Yeah, 2 days ago, on the 10th, was the anniversary of Michael Manley's birthday. He would have turned 99 if he were still with us. 99 on the 10th of December. And Sister P today is 78th. Yes? A lot of people celebrating prominent Jamaicans celebrating birthdays today and this month in particular. All right? I think that's where we're going to leave it. The West Indies doing well in the T20, the first T20 International against England at Kensington Oval in Barbados. They bowled out the Englishmen for 171, and they're going very well at 108 for 4 after 12 overs and 4 balls. Yes? So at this stage, according to the Duckworth-Lewis system par score, it's raining in Bridgetown, Barbados. It's raining there. At this stage, West Indies are ahead. Yes, if the rain does not permit a resumption of play. They're at 108 for 4. The Duckworth-Lewis par score is 102. So they're ahead of that if the rains do not permit them to continue to secure the victory. All right, that's where we're going to leave it this evening. I want to say thanks to our producer, Dana Davey, our co-host, George Davis. He abandoned me, yes, as well as our technical operator, yes, Boogs, Andrew Anderson. To the members of the news and production team, thank you so much. I'm Cliff Hughes, reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor.